Hey guys, what's up? So I got here super early for my appointment, so I decided to jump on live and say what's up. I have shit in my car, still packing, eliminating things, and getting ready for this move. So excited, but I wanted to jump on really quickly and just say something to you guys about creating space, because I think a lot of people hear me say that all the time and they may not necessarily understand the concept or exactly like the full gist of what I'm getting at. And hey, Emily, and I just really wanted to just kind of shine a little light on what that means. So creating space in general is something we always seem to think of, oh, hey, Shri, you mean like declutter my house or close this or use that or whatever, right? Maybe that is what comes to mind for you. I don't know. But in that, while that is definitely a sense of it, and cleaning space and removing unnecessary things from your life definitely can create a lot of room for you to grow and expand and see things clearly and have more calm. When I talk about creating space, most of the time I mean in here. I mean in your atmosphere, basically, in your day, in your life, in your world. If there are things that are weighing on you, things that are constantly tapping you on your shoulder, things that are frustrating you, or that every time it pops up, you're like, ugh, I do not want to deal with that, or something that just simply isn't serving you. And you know when that is. You feel it. You can feel it in your gut. You feel it when you're like, ugh, this is not right. I welcome you to look at that a little bit more, to think to yourself, okay, do I look at this and say, Jesus Christ, I'm sorry, I just got distracted. My freaking phone popped up. I welcome you to ask yourself, like, is this something that I can change my perspective on? Am I just being negative? Do I need to change the way I'm looking at it? Or is this just something that needs to go? Because it's simply taking up space in my life that is probably blocking other things that you want from coming into play. And so that is the really interesting part of that, is like, I wholeheartedly believe in energy and in the law of attraction. And this plays into that. The fact of the matter is that, like, when you're allowing things to stand in your life or in your space or in wherever that are making you feel that way, that aren't an energetic match, that don't light you up, that are just draining you, that every time you think about it, you're like, ugh, like, this is not good. I don't want to do this. If you allow that to be part of your space, imagine what you're blocking from being in your space. You can't think, okay, I really want X, Y, and Z to happen to me. This is how I want to be treated, or this is how I want my business to look, or this is how I want to feel every day, or this is how I want my relationships to be. But yet you're allowing all of this baggage basically to exist that you're just refusing to deal with. Typically is usually why it happens, but we don't deal with it, or we don't look at it for what it is, or we don't accept that sometimes we need to take the action to clear that shit out and say, you know what? I'm not obligated to keep any of this in my life. Like, you don't need to justify your behavior. You don't need to justify why something has stayed in your life. You don't need to say, oh, I'm going to get rid of this because of X, Y, and Z. You can just make the decision simply because it's what feels right for you. It's what serves you. It's what's creating space for you. And by doing that and having conversations or finishing up projects or removing specific things from your life, you're able to make room for the things that you actually want. And trust me when I say this, that if you start to practice this in your life and you recognize where removing things that are no longer serving you helps with this, like, you'll start to see new things come. Like, I can specifically name like so many different situations that have happened to me within the last 6 months, even, where I've removed something from my space and quit allowing it to take up room in my mind or my energy or in my day. And as soon as I did, and I released that and I let it go and I moved forward, I had all of this like actual abundance or really fun, great people or new things or whatever show up. And I'm like, damn, that's awesome. And then on the flip side of that, it almost pisses you off because you look over and you're like, well, son of a bitch, I was allowing this other thing that was pissing me off and not helping me anyways to block the space for this for so long. But you can't dwell on that, because obviously everything happens the way it's supposed to. So it's all good. But I just welcome you to look at that. If there's things in your life that you're noticing that are constantly irritating you, or causing that like tap on the shoulder because you're not paying attention to it, or you get that feeling in your stomach that you know it's not right and it's not what you need to be spending your time on, your energy on, your thoughts on, or interacting with different people, things like that. Like if you find that being a thing in your day, pay attention to that. Like you have those feelings for a reason. That stuff comes up for a reason. So if that is a thing and you notice it, pay attention to it. Do you need to shift your perspective, or do you need to remove that from your space? So that is my spiel. Simple question I ask: is this the most productive use of my energy? I agree with that, but I think that your definition of productive can have a lot to do with that. Like some people seem to think that productive means only like tasky task, like get shit done kind of work. But instead, like productive use of my time, for example, is going to sleep on time. That's a productive use of my time or my energy, you know? So I agree with that for sure, but I think that it depends on the person. I think we all kind of have what works for us. When you say, okay, I always say, is this serving me? Is this interaction, is this person, is this client, is this activity, whatever it is this serving me? Yes or no? So it seems to be, whatever question comes for you that you can kind of go back to, and reevaluate everything within what you're allowing to take up your energy. It's super important, and you owe it to yourself for sure. So anyways, thanks for watching, you guys. I hope that helps, and that's something that you can kind of put in your pocket and use when the time comes, when it presents itself to you. And if you have any questions about any of this, let me know. And if you like the video, hit thumbs up for me. I really appreciate that. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.